Welcome back to the Olds Municipal Library's Loving Letters. Are you ready to get started? Okay, let's say hello. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you today? How are you? I'm ready to find out our letter for this week. And look at that, I'm so ready. I have the box. Should we do our rhyme? Okay, here we go. Here is the box, and under the lid, there is a letter that is hid. Lift up the lid and take a peek to find out whatever letter that we seek. Today's letter is a B. And this is an uppercase B. And it's brown. That starts with B too. And this is a lowercase b. And it's brown too. Both of our B's are brown. B is a fun letter. Like P, you said puff. B, you're kind of pushing too. B, but no air comes out. But your lips squish together and pop apart. B says B. B. Baby. Bear. Boo. Let's do boo. Are you ready? B says boo. B says boo. 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 B is a good one for being a little bit scary. Now, today's books are not scary. Today's books are a little bit furry and a little bit about friends. Let's find out what our first story is. Are you ready? Our first story today is Bear and Bee by Sergio Ruzzier. Bear and Bee, both, another B word, start with B. I'm hungry, said Bear. Honey. Would you like some honey? Said Bee. I would love some honey, said Bear. But what about the bee? Doesn't he know he's talking to a bee? Have you ever seen a bee? Said Bee. No, says Bear. I hope I never ever see a bee. Bees are terrible monsters. They're big and they have large teeth. And they have sharp claws and they never share their honey. But you're big, says Bee. Says Bear. And you have large teeth, says Bee. Says Bear. You have sharp claws, says Bee. Uh-oh, says Bear. I'm a bee! Oh! Poor me! I'm a bee! You are not a bee, says Bee. You're a bear. Oh, right, says Bear. I am a bear. And what are you? I'm a bee, says Bee. You are a bee? Says Bear. But you're not big. And you don't have large teeth. And you don't have sharp claws. Do you share your honey? Would you like some honey? Wait for me, says Bear. Honey. Bee, I'm glad you're a bee. The end. That was silly of Bear. He didn't know that he was talking to a bee. And he thought bees were scary monsters. You don't have to be scared of a bee, right? They're not scary. All they do is go from flower to flower. And if a bee lands on you, he's not gonna sting you unless you go all crazy. And then the bee gets really scared and stings you to go, hey dude, stop moving about. You're scaring me. So, let's do a song about bees. Ready? Bumblebee, bumblebee, landing on my nose. Bumblebee, bumblebee, landing on my toes. On my arm and on my legs. On my elbow, and then he's gone again. Bumblebee, bumblebee, see you soon. Bumblebee, bumblebee, I love you. Because we have to love bumblebees, right? If we didn't have bumblebees, we wouldn't have fruit or flowers or vegetables. And we love our vegetables, right? Yum. Here is a beehive. But where are all the bees? Hiding inside where nobody sees. Soon they'll come creeping out of the hive. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bzzz. When I say bzzz, it tickles my tongue. Does it tickle yours? Let's try it again. Here's a beehive, but where are all the bees? Hiding inside where nobody sees. Soon they'll come creeping out of the hive. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bzzz. Tickles. Okay, it's time to get up on your feet. Let's do, can you wiggle like a worm? Because there's a bee hiding in there somewhere. Listen for it. Let's see if we can find it. You ready? Here we go. Can you wiggle like a worm? Can you squiggle? Can you squirm? Can you flutter? Can you fly like a gentle butterfly? Can you crawl upon the ground like a beetle that is round? Can you move with me? Can you flip? Can you flop? Can you give a little hop? Can you slither like a snake? Can you give a little shake? Can you dance like a bee that is buzzing round a tree? Can you move with me? You did it. Now, did you find the bee? There was a beetle in there too. Crawling on the ground, right? Beetle and a bee. Let's do head and shoulders now. There's no bees in that, I don't think. But let's find out. Ready? Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. I didn't hear a single B sound. We should change it so that we can add a B sound. Ready? Okay. Head and shoulders, belly and bum, belly and bum, belly and bum. Head and shoulders, belly and bum. Eyes, ears, mouth and thumb. I made 2 B words in there. I called my tummy a belly, and my bum starts with B too. Sneaky, right? Let's do one more story. Ready? This one's all about hugs. Hugs don't start with B. Let's find out how that happens. This story is called Big Bear Hug. Ba, big, ba, bear, ba, ba. Both of those start with B. Big Bear Hug is by Nicholas Oldland. There was once a bear so filled with love and happiness that whenever he roamed the forest and came across another living thing, he would give it a hug. Love hugs. Everywhere he wandered, the bear shared his love. Hug by hug. He hugged creatures that bears have been known to eat. This bear could meet the roundest little rabbit, and he would just stop and smile and give it a great big hug. No animal was too big or too small or too smelly or too scary to hug. But what the bear loved to hug the most was trees. Have you ever hugged a tree? I have. The bear never met a tree he didn't like. Big trees, little trees, apple trees, pear trees, peach trees. The bear hugged them all. One day, while the bear was trying to hug a beaver and a tree at the same time, he noticed a man with an axe walking in the forest. What's that man gonna do? The bear followed the man until he stopped at one of the tallest, oldest, and most beautiful trees in the whole forest. The man spent so much time looking at the magnificent tree that the bear thought he must love trees too. But to the bear's horror, the man started to chop the tree down. For the first time in his life, the bear didn't feel like hugging at all. Look at the picture. How does that bear feel? Does he feel happy? Mad, right? Then, just as he was about to sink his teeth into the man, the bear stopped. He realized that no matter how angry he was, he simply could not eat the man. It just wasn't in his nature. The bear sighed, and then he decided to do what he did best. What do you think he did? Well, let's find out. He gave the man a hug. Now, how does the man feel about a bear hug? Is he happy? Is he mad? Is he sad? Scared? Surprised and scared? I think a bit of both maybe too. The man was not used to getting a really big bear hug, so once the bear let go, The man dropped his axe and ran far, far away. And do you know what the bear did next? The bear smiled, and he gave the tree a great big hug. And the tree felt better too. I always feel better when I get a hug. I love hugs. They always make me feel happy and warm inside, right? Is that how you feel when you get a hug? Probably because the person that's hugging us is somebody that we love, that loves us too. And that's special. Not just everybody is like that. Somebody might need a hug right now. Do you see somebody that needs a hug? Go give them a hug, and then let's do another rhyme. Here is a cave, and inside is a bear. Now he comes out to get some fresh air. He stays out all summer in the sunshine and heat. He hunts in the forest for berries to eat. When the snow starts to fall, he hurries inside. He's warm in the cave, and there he will hide. Snow covers the cave like a soft, fluffy rug. Inside, the bear sleeps, all cozy and snug. Cozy and snug. Is that how you sleep? Or do you sleep sprawled out crazy in your bed? I bet you do both sometimes. Now, I love those bear books, and I love those bee books and their rhymes. But it's time to do an activity from our activity box. Today, you're going to need whiteboard marker, a page protector, and I got the bee maze, not a bee, the butterfly maze, and a drawing one. Ready? Let's give it a go. Okay, first I have my butterfly maze, and I'm going to use a whiteboard marker and a page liner. I love page liners for mazes because sometimes you make a mistake, and if you used a marker on the paper, it's always there. Whereas on a page protector, I can erase it and I can try again. I'm going to go in and keep going. Oops. That's not right. Out I come. And if I want to do it again, I can do it as many times as I want. On this sheet, there's also letters down here on the bottom. Just that uppercase B and the lowercase b. When I write a B, I start at the top and go down. Then I do the top bump that comes down to the middle where you would wear a belt. And then I do the lower bump. Down and up and bump. Down, bump, belt, bump. Down and up and bump. Down, bump, belt, bump. Down and up and bump. B. Now on my back side of this page, I have a bird drawing activity. Now my first job is to draw this really weird looking shape. Kind of looks like a comic speech bubble. It's got a circle and a point at this one end. Doesn't look anything like a bird, does it? But if I put a dot and a triangle, it looks a little bit more like a bird, doesn't it? What if I give it 1, 2 legs? That could be a bird. Well, what if I give it toes? Bird, bird, bird. Now, all it needs is tail feathers and a wing. I can practice drawing my bird until I'm ready to do a real big picture. And I can also write B is for bird. And my word is right there. And I can look at that word and write it down there. Okay, let's turn this uppercase B into a bear. Now, it's pretty tricky, but we're going to need all of these pieces. Plus, I'm going to cut out these and use those as well. So, you ready? I'm going to use the magic of TV and what a lot of pieces, hey? Well, let's turn this uppercase B into a bear. This first piece goes like that. So I'm going to turn my B over. And I'm going to use my purple glue and put glue in a letter H in the middle. Then I'm going to turn my B back over and oops. B. Now those 2 middle pieces from the middle of my B's, those are his ears. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on and 1, 2. And these brown circles, those are his feet. It helps to see them as feet if we give him some pads. So I'm going to put a circle and some toes. 1, 2, 3. You know what? I think I'm just going to do 3. Although I could do 4. I have cut out 4, but 3 looks like a good number. 1, 2. Oops, stuck more to me than on him. 3. Bare feet, bare ears, bare arms, bare eyes. And now I'm going to use this scrap and I'm going to cut a bare nose. kind of like a teddy bear. Okay, for this little lowercase b, it's down the bump. Down first and then the bump. You're going to need all of these pieces. Think you know what it is? Probably. Ready? I'm going to use that magic again. And, okay, I cut out all my pieces. So I have my lowercase b, and I'm going to turn it into a creature. So first, I'm going to tuck that in behind like that. And I'm going to put glue around this circle of my bee. Do you know what he is? Well, what if we give him a tail? Like that. And add just a bit of glue right there. And glue on a tail. And now he needs an eye right there. And this weird little rectangle, oops, turns my lowercase b, I'm going to put a bit more glue on that. Turns my lowercase b into a beaver. I love him. Doesn't he look great? Wow! You made an uppercase b turn into a bear and a lowercase b into a beaver. Hello, bear. Hello, beaver. Nice job turning those letters into creatures. But guess what? It's time to say goodbye. Ready? We say goodbye with hands up high, hands down low. Hide those hands now. Where'd they go? One hand up, the other one too. Clap those hands, 1 and 2. Ready? Hands up high, hands down low. Hide those hands now. Where'd they go? One hand up, the other one too. Wave those hands because now we're through. I hope you had fun learning about the B letter today. Next week, we're going to learn about... Now, why would I tell you? That would spoil the surprise. See you next week.